Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to IH100, where we explore the farm life and a whole lot more. Today, we're here at the American Royal, which is pretty darn cool. And we got Hayes. How's your kebab there, Hayes?
It's actually pretty good. I'm almost finished with it already. We just bought it a couple minutes ago.
So today, we're just going to walk around and see what we can find and that sort of thing. But anyway, it's a good day here in Kansas City. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, a little history. The American Royal is in its 120th year. This is a national show for basically all species. They also have a rodeo. So yeah.
They also do a barbecue thing. They do a whole bunch of things.
It's Kansas City. If you're not in Kansas City and don't get barbecue, you do not come to Kansas City. Missouri.
Missouri.
The Kansas side, on the other side of State Line Road, over there, barbecue is just terrible. But I'm from Kansas, and the barbecue, I will even admit, is not even half as good as it is in Missouri. Just not. Okay, let's go watch some cattle showing.
Exhibited by Christian Jazz, 3rd to 6842. On JB SF Big Mama, exhibited by Whitney Walker, 4th, 6848. On DMCC Fancy, exhibited by Abby Wood, 5th, 6843. On DJM Katie, exhibited by Maggie Reed. Top to bottom, in class 21B, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 7. In your ring right now, you will be vying for your purebred senior champion and reserve. At the conclusion of this division, then, we will bring our 4 division winners and reserves back in, vying for grand championship honors.
What? She's going as a pink lady. As a cowboy.
Really?
Yeah. I'm gonna wear something kind of like this one. Wait, the office was down below. Oh no, that's not.
No, if we can walk in there from that back door.
Well, we've certainly taken our time here, and my apologies for that, folks, the last few classes, but it's been good, and I really just want to get into these cattle and absolutely get them right in my mind. I'm really impressed with all 6 of these calves. Just go through and tell you what it is that I'm thinking. This heifer at the front of the lineup, I really like her, and just her bold rib shape. I think she's very powerful. The upper part of her skeleton is really good. I think she couples that with a lot of shape and width, and still very feminine and refined up front. To the ground, I think this is just comparatively, but she probably gives up just a little bit of foot size and bone relative to a couple others in here, but I still think it matches up really well, and she's one that's certainly in contention out here because she's so attractive about her front end and so bold from there back, and still moves with a lot of grace. And the heifer that's right behind her is one that's really long-sided, really deep and maternal in her kind. That was a really challenging class in my mind. I think there were a lot of differences structurally, but this heifer still really was one that hit me as pretty complete in her kind and balanced up very well. I think you get her back out here, and relative to a couple others, she tends to want to shuffle that hind leg maybe a little more than what's ideal, but no question that one offers a lot of good to the Simmental breed. And then the heifer at the back of the lineup is one that I really admire for her length of body and extension. I think she goes to the ground on a really nice hind leg. I think she's got the most foot size and bone to the surface, and still it remains sharp and fresh in her condition up front. That was a really challenging class that she came out of as well. I think good 3 heifers in that lineup there. But again, these 3 class winners in their respective second places are all incredible cattle in my mind. And again, I'm very fortunate to be out here and select them. I'll go show you a champion reserve. If you folks put your hands together one more time for these exhibitors.
Registered name 6846.
Reserve division comes out of class 20, 6823 by Brenna Menace. We now should be ready for your champions and reserves in your divisions to enter the north ring here for your grand champion drive in your purebred Simmental Junior Show. And on your purebred Simmental Junior Show in the north ring, you around ringside, if you would join in with me and give Mr. Jack Oates a round of applause for his evaluation and discussion here today. He's at many junior shows throughout the week. So thank you, Mr. Oates.
Well, let's get right to it and congratulate these folks on making it back in here for the grand drive. It's no easy task, and there's been a lot of good cattle coming through the ring today, and over the last few days as I've had the opportunity to evaluate a few of the junior breeds. But this lineup is pretty incredible in my mind, and it's a major feat to be out here, let alone to get a slap here in a couple moments. So my hat's off to you. And again, just probably the last time you'll hear me, I really like to thank the folks that allowed me to come here and have the opportunity to judge at the American Royal, as well as the American Junior Simmental Association. I feel pretty humbled and pretty honored to be out here. I'm sure there's a lot of folks around ringside with decades or lifetimes more experience in the cattle business than me. And with that stated, I'm not out here trying to profess that this is the way the show has to go, or this is the kind you have to use in your own operation or for these juniors. I'm just out here trying to identify the things that I like and carry on with those and hopefully reward the cattle that really suit me out here today. And so certainly an honor for me to be here. I'd like to thank you all for allowing me to come. And again, let's put our hands together for these kids on a truly remarkable set of cattle. I'll go show you some champions.
Sarah Sullivan on 6846 exhibit number. Sarah Sullivan.
Which one?
Well, except the Baldy there. They're almost better than her. I know
Reserve in that division, the reserve champion is out of that same division, 6823, Brenna Dennis. Congratulations to those two ladies and all of your Simmental junior exhibitors here today.
You that are vying for the 2020 National Hereford Queen. I'd first like to give a big round of applause and a thanks to our 2019 National Hereford Queen, Miss Emily Meinhardt. She's done a wonderful job. She's represented the breed with class. Her service projects have been great, and she's just a fantastic young lady, has a very bright future ahead of her. And so thank her one more time, folks. She's done an excellent job serving as our National Hereford Queen. And here we are, the 2020 National Hereford Queen. They'll receive a blanket and a $2,000 scholarship on completion of the reign and being at all the Hereford events and representing the breed all over the country. And a great tradition to carry, and I think this young lady's going to do a fantastic job. Our 2020 National Hereford Queen goes to Melanie Fishel, North Carolina. Give her a nice hand.
Oh yeah, she is.
Thank you, young ladies, and congratulations to all of you. Let's one more time, Hereford breeders, give them a nice hand.
Our judge for this afternoon and our Supreme Drive is Mr. Chris Audionautix. Of course, the judging coach over here at Kansas State University. And with that,
It's Chris Mullen.
I think we are ready to start with our females to come into the ring.
Where's Tammy? Oh,
First heifer in would be our champion Angus female, exhibited by Jace Stagemeyer from Page, Nebraska.
oh gosh, yes.
Second heifer in is our champion AOB and commercial junior heifer,
Pretty good structure overall.
is exhibited by Sarah Sullivan.
Maybe a little bit deeper. Okay, now I like it. It's just black.
Our champion Bronze heifer,
What breed?
exhibited by Jordan Walkers of Tecumseh,
I
Oklahoma.
like the scimitar for the Angus. The brown bay. Black is literally the same.
Our champion Charlotte female was exhibited by Jenna Talak of Prohl, Iowa.
Why is that here? Just go home. Actually, I like it better than the scimitar.
Our champion heifer
Yeah.
was exhibited by Macy Curry from Oklahoma,
Oklahoma.
champion Limousine from Carly Harris of Lawton, Oklahoma. Your champion maintainer, Jamie Hoblin, York, Nebraska.
It's like parking stalls. It's like, did you just see that guy? Did you just see
Champion
that?
Maine Jude heifer,
I know.
Sarah Sullivan, Dunlap, Iowa.
You notice all the
Champion Maine Angus, Jackie Schlechter, Abilene, Kansas.
coat, the little vests on. Yeah. American Hereford Association. I was so told it's on there. Free branding. Oh yeah. I mean, why not? And they look
Champion
nice.
Optimizer
They have a nice
heifer,
logo.
Josie Bells, Galva, Kansas.
Aw. That's cute. It's Jace Peltz's.
Champion Red Angus,
Ah,
Ben Spencer, Gibbon, Nebraska.
Gibbon. Gibbon.
Champion Shorthorn female,
Is there a
Sarah Sullivan,
I just
Dunlap,
look at that.
Iowa.
It's beautiful. This kind of thing like that.
Your champion Shorthorn Plus female, Abigail Burkhart, Dunlap, Iowa. Champion Percentage Scimitar, Sarah Sullivan, Dunlap, Iowa. And champion Purebred Scimitar, Sarah Sullivan, Dunlap, Iowa.
They're the soul of it. Yeah.
Folks, let's give all these young exhibitors a round of applause. Judge Melnitz, the floor is yours.
Who doesn't it? See everything. The hogs and
It is to be out here and share the arena with an unbelievable set of champions. Before we go any further, we're going to select a supreme champion here this afternoon, and what an honor it will be. But to simply have been out here in this arena and work through the cattle that you have as young people, the blood, sweat, and tears that went on at home, but then to get here against this competition and be out here to represent your breed is something to be incredibly proud of. I hope everybody around ringside will help me in congratulating every one of these breed champions for what they've accomplished already. Nothing that I could say to make it any different. This is an amazing group of cattle. Does that mean there aren't a couple of them that stand out to me? In my opinion, no. But to look at each one of these breed champions and see the quality that stands out here, I think is pretty special. So it's a credit to the young people at the halter, but the families that have helped them, the breeders that have gotten these cattle into the hands of such great young showmen that are out here. And now it's just my chance to share my thought in selecting the Supreme Champion female. And you know, for me personally, I've mentioned this before, a Supreme Champion is one of the most challenging and neatest opportunities that a judge has. And but I think it's very difficult, because one of the important things that is, I think, always needs to stay valuable in this decision is that these breeds still are designed with a different purpose in our industry. Each one of them has some strengths and some things they offer the beef cattle world. And as we come out here and we showcase each of these breeds, I try to, instead of comparing each heifer out here to the one standing next to her, I instead try to look at each one of these females and say, where does she stand relative to her contemporaries within that individual breed? Where can she help take that breed? And I think that's what makes this a fun decision. I'm going to put up the mic and go select you the one that hit me awfully hard when they came in the ring, and I haven't been disappointed the more that I broke her down. But this is an awesome set of cattle, guys. One more time, congratulate these juniors. Give them a big round of applause if you will. Congratulations to all these exhibitors out here today. What a great event this is each and every year.
Well, it is about 3 o'clock now. We helped our friends 3:10. Men's got to watch maybe. I don't know. Watch on something. Anyway, we helped our friends get packed up, and now we're going to go into the arena here and see what else we can all get into. But pretty solid day. Yeah. Anyway, it's been a really fun day. Things are really winding. Yeah. Things have really wound down here at the Royal.
Shoulder and extended and fresh out that front 1/3. She's sound and functional. She's good from the ground up. She's as white as anything in this lineup, but she shows a lot of femininity and prettiness to me, I call it, and just beautiful in her top and her hip. And again, the young lady does a really nice job. You know, when you look at these females in terms of just cowiness and broodiness and softness in middle and softness aside, that's where this heifer that won the 4th division comes to mind. She is so good in her body and her belly shape and her top and her hip. She's sound and good structured. She's white base. She's fresh in that front 1/3. Love the angulation to her shoulder. Again, this young lady gets as much out of her as she possibly can. And as we said, the last division, folks, as I said a couple minutes ago, you know, it takes a unique heifer to move around the ring, carry that much mass in middle and top and hip, to be that fluid in her movement, and she is. From the ground up, she is just beautiful in her foot size, and you know, they all go one direction. She has some substance and power in her bone structure. She has some flexibility out both ends. She's got a beautiful angulation in that shoulder, and she's fresh out that head and neck. You know, the biggest thing about this heifer that I just love is simply her movement. She just floats on air as she goes around the ring, and you know, she has any speed the young lady wants to put her in, but at the same time, the mass and the hip and the depth she has is really unique. That's a really good female as well, folks. Folks, these are my opinions, and tomorrow it's not going to matter, but This is a good lineup of females, and I hope the breeders and the owners and the young men and women behind the scenes see that. Outstanding breed, outstanding job, guys. The guys behind the barn, way to go. These are presented to a T. So let's give these exhibitors a round of applause. I'll look at them real quick, and then we'll select your champion reserve female.